In this video, we're going to take a look at Chat GPT and how I believe it represents a truly new phase in the way we'll experience the internet over the coming years. Chat GPT is an artificial intelligence model developed by OpenAI, a research organization that was founded in 2015 by a group of entrepreneurs, researchers, and philanthropists, including Sam Altman and Elon Musk. OpenAI are also behind DALL-E, which is an artificial intelligence AI system that is capable of generating original images from textual descriptions. Now, if you want to check these amazing tools out, head over to openai.com and create a free trial account. You can also download the app version of Chat GPT, but it only offers a 3-day trial. Then we'll try and sign you up for a subscription. So I'm going to be using the desktop version today. Chat GPT has been trained on a data set sourced from the internet up until 2021. So it's not going to be capable of providing feedback on current events as such. This may change in the future when it actually is rolled out as a final product, and I believe because of its capabilities could very well be a contender for Google search, where we could find ourselves using this interface to gain information for our specific productivity tasks and searches on the internet. So I think it's a very powerful way of collating data and presenting it in a very human-like fashion. Without any further delay, let's go ahead and ask ChatGPT some questions and find out just what it's capable of. So as I mentioned earlier, to get to the interface on a laptop or desktop computer, simply open up a web browser and type in chat.openai.com. and sign up for an account using either your Google account or providing your email address and creating a unique password. When you get to the main interface of ChatGPT, it will give you some examples of the type of questions you can ask. It will then discuss its capabilities and also provide you with its limitations. Now, ChatGPT has been trained on a dataset source from the internet up until 2021, so it's not capable of providing results based on real-time events. However, it's clear to me at some point it may do so and could significantly change the way we interact online. The first question: what is the difference between BladeRunner 2049 and the original? BladeRunner 2049 is a sequel to the original Blade Runner, which was released in 1982. The original Blade Runner is a science fiction film set in a dystopian future where genetically engineered replicants, artificial humans, are used for dangerous or menial work on off-world colonies. The film follows a Blade Runner named Rick Deckard, who is tasked with retiring a group of rogue replicants who have returned to Earth. Blade Runner 2049 is set 30 years after the events of the original film and follows a new protagonist, a Blade Runner named Kay, who is tasked with tracking down and retiring rogue replicants. The film explores themes of artificial intelligence, memory, and identity, and features appearances by characters from the original film, including Rick Deckard. So far, 100% correct and accurate. Both films are based on the novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick and have been praised for their visual effects, production design, and exploration of philosophical themes. However, while the original Blade Runner is a classic of science fiction cinema, Blade Runner 2049 received mixed reviews upon its release and was a commercial disappointment, all of which I would have to agree as a fan of this franchise is possibly true. Now, I love Blade Runner 2049. Whether it was a commercial success or not doesn't influence my opinion of the movie, but it's interesting how it's provided an incredible accurate summary of the difference between the two films in short form. Let's follow it up with a question on the theme, which is, are there any movies similar to this that I should check out? There are a number of science fiction films that explore similar themes to Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049, including The Matrix, 1999, Ex Machina, 2014, Ghost in the Shell, 1995, Westworld, 1973, Her, 2013. And these are just a few examples of science fiction films that may be of interest to fans of Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. And I would have to agree, it's provided some great options there for films that are similar in terms of visual style, themes, genre, and the way they depict the future in a somewhat dystopian way. Now, for the next question, I'm going to ask it to actually create some content for me that I might be able to use on this channel. So let's start with a YouTube script that I could use, perhaps comparing an iPhone against an Android phone. Provide me with a comparison between an iPhone and an Android phone, and the top 5 reasons why I should buy an iPhone. Let's go. An iPhone is a smartphone made by Apple, while an Android phone is a smartphone that uses Android operating system developed by Google. Here are a few reasons why someone might choose an iPhone over an Android phone. Apple's ecosystem. If you already own other Apple products, an iPhone can easily integrate with these devices through Apple's ecosystem. Very true. User experience. iPhones are known for their smooth, intuitive user experience. Also true. The iOS operating system is easy to navigate and has a wide range of user-friendly features, such as the App Store and iCloud, security, quality of apps, and support. So yeah, it's picked probably the top 5 reasons that Apple is often considered a better choice than an Android phone. Not always the case, but and this is very subjective, of course. But these are really valid reasons with pretty decent description of each one. And then at the end, it says that it's worth noting that Android phones have their own advantages, such as a wider range of price points and more flexibility in terms of customization. Ultimately, the decision between an iPhone and an Android phone will depend on your personal preferences and needs. So you can see here, it's really quite the politically correct chat system here, in that it doesn't want to offer a subjective opinion. It's trying to balance things out and give you well summarized points that are very easy to understand, and in really, I think, a way that you could actually use this content to further develop out a script. So that's really awesome. Let's try a more creative task and get Chat GPT to write a song for us. Write me a song in the style of Nirvana, but add elements of but mix it up with the style of Michael Jackson. Oh, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know. So I'm not going to even attempt to wrap this out on screen because it's pretty cringy. But as you can see, it's doing its best to analyze what I guess each one of those artists is known for. And it's putting words that you might expect from each artist to appear in one of their songs and then mixing it up. So I'm breaking the rules. Ain't no one gonna hold me down. So I guess I'm breaking the rules could be Nirvana, and ain't no one gonna hold me down is something that Michael Jackson would have said. I'm dancing on the moon, Jackson. Ain't no one gonna bring me down, Nirvana. So it's kind of very crude in the way it's put together these two opposing styles of lyric and trying to synthesize them into a song that is somewhat original. In the chorus, I'm on top. It looks like, kind of inane, senseless wording that will be rapped out. And then it's called I Won't Be Controlled, I Won't Be Bought, Nirvana type rebellion. So really, I've got to say, in this regard, it's too obvious the way it's referenced the source material and tried to put two juxtaposing styles and themes together into one cohesive piece that really looks completely unnatural and useless in my opinion. So as far as a songwriting tool, I can't see the benefit here. However, if you are completely lost for ideas and you try different artists, you could perhaps use some of the wording and get ideas and then bring your own further concepts into it in order to create something usable. And certainly that goes with everything that you use when you're trying to get suggestions from this system, is not to think that you could just completely copy and paste this and go and use it as a form of content. The idea is that you're going to be able to use it to generate the original framework for your content that you need to develop out further. So I'm going to call that a fail nonetheless. The next thing I want to do is to ask it to develop an exercise routine. And we're going to look at specific goals that we have in mind for the exercise to see if it comes up with the correct schedule. So, provide me with a gym training program for a male in his 40s to 50s. I'm not going to tell you which one I belong to, but hint, it's on the later side. And wants to gain muscle mass and reduce fat. I guess that's a common requirement. And provide a basic dietary suggestion. Here's a simple gym training program for a male in their 40s or 50s who wants to gain muscle mass and reduce fat. Warm up, start each workout with a 5 to 10 minute warm up to get your blood flowing and muscles primed for exercise. This can include light cardio, i.e. jogging and treadmill, or dynamic stretches. Great, that's correct. Resistance training, of course, aim to perform 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions of each exercise using a weight that allows you to reach muscle fatigue by the last few repetitions. Include a mix of compound exercises, squats, deadlifts, bench press, and isolation exercises, e.g. bicep curls and tricep dips to target multiple muscle groups. Very well worded indeed. 3, cardio. Incorporate 2 to 3 sessions of moderate intensity cardio, e.g. cycling and running per week to help strip fat and improve cardiovascular fitness. Reset and recovery. Make sure to allow for adequate rest and recovery between workouts to allow for muscles to repair and grow. This can include active recovery, e.g. foam rolling, yoga, or complete rest. Nutrition. A high protein diet will be important for muscle building as well as getting enough calories to support your training. Aim to consume 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day and include a balance of carbohydrates and healthy fats in your diet as well. Consider tracking your intake using a food diary or app to ensure you're meeting your nutritional needs. And remember to consult with a healthcare professional or certified personal trainer before starting a new exercise program. It's also important to listen to your body and make adjustments as needed. And this definitely does read very well and is consistent with the type of program you will get for someone of that age group. So it's obviously drawn from a resource of information and accurately put together what I think is a great program for fitness for someone in their 40s or 50s. So yeah, really good. But again, let's go further and ask it for a daily breakdown of the actual exercises and see if it can follow up with that simple request. So, can I have a list of the exact exercises? Can I have a list of the exact exercises with reps per session? And perhaps do a split. Here is a simple gym training program with a split routine for a male in their 40s or 50s who wants to gain muscle mass and reduce fat. So now we get the breakdown day by day. Monday, upper body. So we're actually doing a upper and lower body split. And you can see it's prescribing bench press, inclines, lat pull down, seated row, shoulder press, bicep curls and tricep dips. How many sets you need to do and how many reps. Then we get a break day, we get Wednesday, we get Fridays, the upper body again. And it's providing alternate exercises for each training routine. So this is really something you would expect to get from a qualified professional. But once again, doing its due diligence, it recommends to allow for adequate rest and recovery between workouts and to consult with a healthcare professional or certified professional trainer before starting a new exercise. So even though it's giving you the exact information, it still recommends that you should go down the proper path of contacting, consulting with a professional before going ahead with the program. But nonetheless, that information looks really good. And not only is it useful information, but I would have to say it's very much reminiscent of the types of programs that I've been prescribed by personal trainers and I've been working throughout the years in my training routine. So very impressive yet again. Now, the next thing I want to ask it to do is to create some code. So beyond being able to construct language, it actually can create code for us. So for this basic example, I'm going to ask it to write me a HTML, CSS, and JavaScript web page. So I've got a few ideas in mind of what I'm looking for. Let's see how well it creates the code for us. Create a HTML page with a black background. Add a large title at the top. Underneath that, put the YouTube logo. Then embed my latest YouTube video at Touch Technology Review. Now, because this doesn't provide information beyond 2021, it's probably not going to successfully find my latest YouTube video in this iteration of the product. However, it should still be able to create the code, and I'd like to see if it actually has the YouTube embed code, is able to create the title, the black background, and the required CSS to do so. So let's just take a look at that. Here's an example of a HTML page with a black background, a large title at the top, and an embedded YouTube video. So we can see the HTML there, and you see the structure with the head, the style tag for the CSS, the end head, start body. We can see a H1 title, and we can see a div being created for our YouTube video. and it's created the code for the YouTube logo with an alt tag saying that it's a YouTube logo. Beneath that, another div, and within that, we get an iframe embed code for YouTube successfully added with width and height dimensions. And just looking at it, it looks pretty much like the way I would code that page in HTML if I was asked to do it. I think this is going to be an invaluable tool for content creators moving forward. Obviously, it's in its early stages of development right now. It's showing a lot of promise. There's a couple of things that I do want to mention though. The first one is that it even says on its own website that you don't have the rights to use this content. If I type in, can I use this content on my own website or social media? Yes, you can use the HTML and JavaScript code provided in your own website or social media posts as long as you follow the terms of use of any applicable licenses. In general, it's good to respect the intellectual property rights of others and give proper attribution. So if you created the lyrics to a song, you've got to be very careful that it's not impeding on somebody else's copyright. So I think the best thing to do is to use this as the foundation for your work and always put some of your own original content mixed within the content created by the AI so it becomes an original work. So that's just another thing to consider. Another thing that I noted when spending a fair bit of time asking it questions over and over again, although at first I was genuinely impressed at how it sounded so human-like, over time I noticed a certain rhythm and certain patterns in the way it would express itself, which then opens it up to being easily reverse engineered. And I think, for example, if you were to try and create social media content, maybe SEO content on blogs, that Google would have some technology to work out that it's coming from AI generation and perhaps not value it as highly as human generated text because it has a more unique feel about it. And I've actually read some articles to suggest Google are already doing that. If they're not doing it now, certainly they're going to become more and more aware of the kind of abuse that this system could be subject to, where content creators are just generating pages and pages of content and trying to propagate it throughout the internet for their own purposes, for their own benefit, without really being beneficial to the users at large. So be mindful of that with this early stage of development, it's going to have some limitations, and that you shouldn't be seeing this as a replacement for any human task, but something that can augment the creative process by giving you a really good starting point. So hopefully you found that entertaining. If you would like to check it out, head over to chat.openai.com and check it out for yourself, or download the app, but be wary of that paid membership that comes up after 2 days if you do want to check out the app version. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye for now.